Hey everybody, welcome back to Quested. We don't need to do an intro. If you're listening to the downtime, you listen to the season.
This is like our third date, you know?
This is the third date. You know, you already
We're
know.
getting intimate.
You know,
I have
bark
stuff
at
at your house right now. My toothbrush is in your
Yeah,
bathroom.
we got clothes at each other's houses. We
Yeah.
maybe met each other's families.
We're barking at passersby.
I've been hiding rocks around your room.
I've
It's just
been hiding drug paraphernalia in your car.
I
Without you
steal
knowing.
medicine out of your cabinet from your bathroom.
I let a canary loose in your bathroom.
Like
your bathroom is my safe space.
I'm still at your house when you get home from work. Like
Yeah, like I don't go
it's
anywhere.
fucked.
And I am screaming in the safe space.
Yeah.
Like I've already had diarrhea in your bathroom without you knowing. Like averted that whole crisis.
Yeah, you didn't even know, huh?
Yeah, you had no idea.
For real.
Just blowing beef sauce in your bathroom
Like,
for 3 hours.
why does it smell good in here? Like, did someone
Yeah,
light
I
a
just
candle?
Febrezed the fuck out of your bathroom after just pasting the bowl.
Speaking of
My-
pasting,
After just ripping a bowl.
we did it. We fucking did it, folks.
Yeah, we finished the thing and we're never doing it ever again. We're done.
Untrue.
We're not coming back.
We're gone. We're
We
gone
did it
forever.
for the haters.
We
for
did
real.
it right the first time. We don't have to do it again.
I don't know if we did it exactly right. I think there's things I would change from my end.
That's not true.
I thought you were perfect.
You wouldn't
I
change a
think you're all
thing.
perfect.
You wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing. It's not a Quested episode if someone doesn't do a little ditty.
True.
True. We
Yeah.
gotta turn this into half show tunes.
A sequester episode.
Oh
Whoa.
my God!
We're gonna do an entire episode where we just sing. Like a karaoke
actual musical
episode.
Yeah.
episode.
But we don't title it to clarify that that's what's going on. It's just like
Yeah.
like the forge continues or some shit, and then it's just like give me the beaver. And then we're like, all right, I think like when's the bit gonna end? When are they gonna start the story? And then we
Oh
just
my
don't.
God.
Yeah,
That
we
is the story.
don't. That's us in character singing
story, yeah.
karaoke. Yeah.
It's like how like the Flash and the Magicians did like musical episodes, but we're not gonna advertise it
That
at all.
sounds horrible. I mean, I don't watch either of those shows, but
The
that
Magicians
premise
one?
sounds really fucking
The
dumb.
Flash one was atrocious. The
Yeah.
Magicians one was good, but I also have a bias.
I also have a bias. I feel
Yeah.
like most shows that I watch when they randomly throw in musical episodes, I'm so like turned off by it because it feels really cringy. But then I'll watch a show I'm obsessed with and they do a music episode and I'm like, go the fuck off, King. This shit is gas.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much you like it. When you think DC, you're not exactly like, oh, I hope there's a musical episode.
If
of
I'm
this.
watching Flash,
I hope the
yeah.
Flash hits his head and starts singing.
If I'm watching Flash, I'm not really going in being like, God, I hope it's a musical episode.
I hope this show's funny. Like you're not thinking, any of those things. Like I hope there's non-superhero activity in this.
Well, the Flash is canonically a jokester.
The Flash is just like running errands for the whole episode. It's like a slice of life episode. He's not even talking. He's having like mundane, like, oh, thank you. It's like, beep. Okay, $2. Okay. And then that's the whole episode. It's him just having like mundane conversations with everyday people. He's like, oh, excuse me.
It's him working at the grocery store before he got his job at the science lab.
It's
He's
a full
cashing people
8-hour
out, yeah.
episode of like a
Trader
entire
Joe's
work
workplace.
shift, and they're like, "This is fucking art, dude. You wouldn't get it." We filmed the guy for an entire work shift.
We actually had Grant Gustin working at Trader Joe's for 8 hours.
Like not even through the production of the show, they like actually underground like got him hired at like a Trader Joe's.
And just film that, and that's an entire like season
Yeah,
of the
he's,
show.
he's like, "Oh, it's." It's an art installation. Me working an 8-hour shift at Trader Joe's for like 2 days.
Speaking
quitting.
of installing some art, I fucked up because of the if it was not very obvious, last week's episode that you probably have listened to, I did not expect the ending that we got. So it threw off literally everything I had in my notes, and I got so off track that I didn't even read the rest of my notes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And we missed two very important things. The first is as you guys left the base at some point, the Asra Tower, you got a letter from an exploding carrier pigeon.
Exploding?
It ran into your chest and exploded into fireworks. and then dropped a note on the floor.
Blood all over
Yeah, like,
Isaac's
oh my
face.
god.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Just
Turns into confetti, but there's blood and like bones everywhere. This is his beak. What the fuck?
So the letter reads, Dear Isaac, I request the heroes of the realm in exactly 1 month, the 31st of Sunbloom. The leaders of Ismunda are meeting with the Church of the Unified, given they've taken Castle Vertruse and have vied for recognition as a vassal state. Requires a particular set of skills known to a bard I rather fancy. Come home soon. That was in reference to Isaac, if it wasn't painfully aware.
If you didn't understand that.
Okay.
Stimulated.
Wait, she was talking about Derek?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I thought you meant the later thing.
She says, come home soon, remain safe, your queen, Sora. P.S. I didn't know you mentored Derek. Oberon finds it funny for some reason. He's taken to telling some of your old tales to the kids of the Spires. Isaac is very mad about that.
Derek's vulturing your stories, dude.
I'm going to kill him when we play again.
Derek's like, his struggle is my struggle now.
For real.
I don't want to look up to someone. I want to be him.
He's like, those stories really went off, but it'd be a lot more interesting if it happened to me.
Yeah, I'll put my spin on them.
Yeah.
Tells them
Yeah, like
exactly
for a
the
little
same.
while, he's telling the stories like referencing you, but then after a certain amount of time, he realizes like, I get more attention if I just say I was the one doing
Yeah.
He
it.
like starts,
So
one time he goes to say like Isaac, like Isaac.
Yeah, he's
was in
like,
it, and he goes, I was in fucking whatever.
And he's like, and then everyone's like 10 times more interested, and he's like, yes.
Yeah, wait.
Okay, wait a second.
The palm of my hand.
And then after in the hypothetical scenario in which I actually said this shit at the end of the episode, this was gonna be like an after credits kind of scene, but we can just tell you now. A picture there's like crazy music going on behind this. Sandstorm is playing while this is happening. That makes it so different. That makes it go from like horror,
That's
like
fucking fire,
horrifying to like blood rave blade shit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just like arcade.
Yeah. The pale light of a blood-red sun shines on patchwork soil, a smattering of different textures from sand to mud to concrete slammed together with incoherent force to create ground. A rumbling begins in the distance as the camera pans towards its source. A massive abomination, what looks like a giant worm made of millions of corpses and twisted metal, acting as sutures holding them all together, slamming into this unreal and unnatural landscape. As it crashes into the ground, the dust settles on a boyish, inhuman frame atop a radiant throne, its head down. As it lifts its head, the childlike face smiles. Yoink.
Oogie.
A little peek into season 2.
Yoink, yoink,
Yoink. What did the yoink mean? But yeah, then now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the
freak
season.
could that mean?
Yeah, what?
I thought it was bad, in my opinion.
The season or what I just read?
All of it.
Oh,
Be honest. Yeah.
Once I got to the end of the season, like I re-listened to it a couple times, and I didn't get it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you listen on like 4 times speed, so you can listen to it all.
I do actually listen to it. When we were like coming back, there was a period of time where there was a little bit of like a couple weeks between where I was at, and I started listening to the last week's episode on like 1.5 times speed, and at first it was jarring hearing everyone talk like Animal Crossing characters and laughing like psychopaths, but then it kind of grew on me, and I was like, wait, I'm finishing episodes in like 30 minutes and it's funny as fuck. There's like any time I felt like you guys, especially you, when you started like describing shit, you would be like, in this place, but then me and Will just sounded normal.
Yeah. You guys are compensating for the people who speed up the episodes.
So if you ever
Let me say this real slow for you, dick.
If you ever feel like me and Will are talking too slow, just turn the speed up and it sounds normal as fuck.
Yeah, it's
And then if you think me and Mikey are talking too fast, turn it back down. You're gonna
Yeah.
want to have like a varying. You're gonna want to be on the
You have to-
settings
yeah,
for
your
these
finger
episodes.
needs to be on the button.
Yeah,
thumb
you're
on the
gonna-
mouse, or not thumb.
Thumb on the ass.
So I want to do this a little different. I was like, hey boys, think of some questions. If you guys would prefer me to open up with a question addressing everybody first,
sure.
we could do
If
that.
you have a good one.
Yeah, if it's good. If it's
Motherfucker,
not,
I
I'm
don't
just gonna ignore it. Like you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'll just we'll move on if it's a bad question.
All right, so I'll go with one that I was proud of, and let's see what happens. So for everybody, can you place the moment where you started to figure out your character, and if so, what moment was it?
How many episodes
I
was
have
there?
food in my mouth.
I think think there was 38 or 37.
Yeah, probably like episode 37.
Right near the end there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I genuinely was gonna say I toiled with my character. Like I was wrestling with the idea of who my character actually was for most of the fucking thing,
Yeah.
and I feel like I was going for a couple different ideas, and I didn't feel like I really like managed to merge them together until towards the end.
Yeah.
Because my original idea for Glitch versus like what he became was so different.
That was actually, I think that's one of the questions I have in there. Oh no.
I feel the same way. Like when I went into Blint, I was like, because I kept mentioning it throughout the season 2. I was like, I started him off. I wanted him to be kind of like a lovable stoner Chad who's like progressive and like smart, but comes across dumb, but is like in his brain very smart.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, he got funnier, but got like way dumber. Like he almost became like at times I kind of thought of him as like Patrick Starr. Where like he'd say something like insightful, and you're kind of like, "Whoa, that's shocking," because he's like a fucking idiot. But then he became like more like baby mode bozo, and it was funny. But I was like, "This is getting out of hand." But then at one point, I'm like, "Whatever, like just whatever you feel in that episode, just do it."
It's so funny that you brought that up immediately, because that was my first question for you. Was I noticed that because you brought it up a lot.
Yeah.
You're like, he is fucking stupid, and I did not mean to play him like that. Do you plan on carrying that over to season 2, or was that just kind of his journey?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It might be the same thing in season 2, where like I start one way, and then like given the situations we go through, it might change by the end. But I feel like kind of he'll probably be more similar to the back half of this season, because I'm kind of like comfortable with him now in a certain way, and like the certain sense of humor. It just works. So I'll probably keep it mostly the same.
Because I was just very curious about like the way that you felt, because you didn't say it in a shameful way where you're like, he's so dumb now, but you're just like, look how fucking stupid this man
I
is.
think it was a product of me trying to make certain jokes, or be like a certain, because all of our characters kind of have like their own sense of humor, or like the certain kind of like, not shticks, but like certain types of humor like we each have.
Bits. Yeah, I mean, I think you
like certain
nailed it.
bits. So like Blint's kind of like the dumb, naive, like lovable character who's like an idiot, but you're like, oh, well, he's our idiot, like he doesn't mean
He's our idiot.
He means well. He's just kind of like really eccentric and stupid, like, but he like cares about everyone.
We breezed over Will also with the what moment did you? We also didn't really go into yours also. The moment that you like guys, the moment you guys like.
You just looked
For our audio listeners, I glared at Mikey.
sexually.
I felt
Sexually.
seen in a way that I did not in a long time.
You're just like, you give him the up and down, and you're like, what was
I
that
was
about?
going to make a joke, but belittle you. But then I was like, I don't want to be mean, because it just I don't know. I was just like, I don't want to commit to this mean bit.
I appreciate it.
You just dunk on Mikey in the last episode.
Internalize this, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry
Hey, I'll
this into
give
the
you
next
something.
season, pussy.
I'll give you something to fucking remember.
I bet you will.
Just bash his head off the screen. We just start fighting each other.
Cage match shit.
I was gonna say though, I think when I felt like I finally found where I wanted to go with Isaac was was like the pension arc, more towards like the end of it. Probably like when Isaac had his moment with Quentin. I think that was probably like a moment where like in my head that's a turning point in Isaac's like storyline, probably like his decision to like be better.
Yeah, like he chose the path.
Yeah, and I think doing like wackier shit with Blint, like fucking doing a cage match.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
I think I have it like written down on my character sheet, like fucking ideals and whatever the fuck. But one of them I wanted was one of them I wrote down was like be bold and like fucking find creativity like wherever you go or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, and that was
And
that.
Yeah,
For sure.
and I think he's on his way to getting back to that. So
That actually goes very well into my first question for you. Do you think Isaac is aware of how much he's changed? Or is he just kind of going through the motions and then
Oh no,
catch up later?
Isaac doesn't see like anything he's done as like a change to him, but he's also like kind of self-loathing in a kind of like go in the bathroom to to have emotions by myself.
To write whore on the
Yeah.
mirror with lipstick?
Yeah.
Putting makeup on
Grabbing-
himself and being like, bitch.
Grabbing the
Fucking whore.
mirror and just sobbing violently while looking at himself. Yeah.
He was just doing that shit in the castle.
Yeah, it's just the vibe.
Putting on mascara to cry and like watching it come on your face like, you fucking whore.
Walking,
You're no good.
walking through the kitchen so people can see it.
Yeah. But
Oh yeah, that's how it started when you walked past that lady. It was like,
yeah.
it was so funny.
Isaac shows his like agitated and annoyed and angry emotions, but like his like actual emotions, he's like, no, that's for daddy.
Yeah, it's like, Daddy's gonna go have a cry in the back.
Hold on, darling, daddy's crying.
Fuck you. That
1 second, Papa's processing things in here.
Yeah, you just hear like,
processing trauma.
you just hear like, you come out, you're like, all right, so what are we doing?
Like the wavering cry.
Yeah. But no, Isaac is definitely not aware of his change. I mean, maybe besides like magic, I guess, but
Yeah, more physical than
Yeah.
emotional.
Oh wait, real quick, I just wanted to say,
This is loosey goosey.
I forgot to pinpoint a time when I
Oh yes.
felt Blint change. I think it was when we became the heroes of Crescent City, quote unquote. I feel like that's around the time where I kind of
Figured it out.
figured out like how I wanted him to play as like a character.
I love that. I think you can see it for sure. Like you kind of got your legs and started.
I remember like a couple months ago, or maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, actually, I listened to like the first 2 episodes at work just for fun.
Mm.
And it's crazy how far we came because you could kind of hear, looking back, like how we didn't really know how we wanted to play our characters yet.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked about it. We were all kind of like, oh, like that felt weird, or like not in a bad way, but just kind of like,
The vibe definitely was no one liked their characters.
yeah, like we
by
were
the
kind of
end the
like,
first
oh, I don't know how that
episode.
was, you know, but like, you know, over time you'll figure it out. But yeah, it's funny like listening back to the first like 5 or 6 episodes, and then like obviously listening to the last like 20
Yeah.
or something, you can really hear a huge difference, even like in the amount we talk in character.
True.
Like in the beginning, it felt like we all kind of kept things short when we would talk in
Yeah.
character, and then we were also trying to figure out each other's characters.
It definitely
Which is
was
like another
that-
huge part is
that
like how does
team
my
chemistry.
character interact with
Mm-hmm.
this character, or this like with like Blint seeking Moreau's approval, like trying to make him laugh. You know, like that's a very different interaction than he'd have with like Glitch or something. We're like kind of just
True.
like fucking with each other.
Yeah.
Or like Isaac, where he's very like, you're my dad figure. Like, I want to please you. Or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this shit for you.
Yeah. So like that's part of it too, is like figuring out how they interact with everybody.
It was a lot of fucking fun to start seeing everybody like figure their stuff out and like get you could see. I didn't pinpoint any moment, but I watched you guys get more comfortable and it was a lot of fun. What about you? What about moment wise? Do you
Before I go into that, just to like go off of what you said, I do find that interesting because like I remember I remember early on there was a point where like I felt like that, like very unsure about everything, and then I listened back to an episode and I was like, holy fuck, like that sounded so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then like being so detached from the early on version of the campaign and like listening back to like last week's episode before we record like one of like the like episode 30 or whatever, I was like comfortable with how that sounded because I was also comfortable at the table. And then I was like, once we finished, I was like, I'm gonna go back and listen to the beginning again. And I was listening to it and I was like, this is a way different vibe.
I mean, not to this isn't like calling you out, it's more of like how far you've come. You were nervous hearing yourself talk.
Oh yeah, because we used to, like, we used to make music. I mean, Mikey and Nate still does, but, like, I used to hate hearing my voice recorded. Fucking despised it. But then I've gotten over that. I was very nervous going into this, listening to my voice, because I was just like, I know how I sound to myself, but hearing myself back, I was like, I'm going to not be okay with that.
I don't know if you remember this. I remember the first time you told me that you liked your voice. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Literally the whole first 2 episodes, because we recorded the first 2 together. You were like, I can't listen to myself. This is hard. Do I sound okay? Right. And then like episode 9 or whatever, and you were like, dude, I was listening and like, I have a nice voice. I was like, yeah, motherfucker.
I think it's because I was listening to it in my car and like, this is such a self-serving thing to say.
The
but
bass
like,
was vibrating your...
I am my target audience when it comes to humor. So I would be making jokes in the episode, and this sounds so fucking narcissistic. I'd be full belly laughing at jokes
at your own
as
jokes,
if I wasn't the one that was making them.
I did the same thing when I listened back. Like, I'll laugh because like there's so many times where I think we all do it a little bit, but there's so many times where I like say softly like very sarcastic things. Usually like not even during the game part. It's usually during like the intro. And there's so many times like only I notice it when I listen back. Like I'll mumble shit under my breath sarcastically, and then I laugh at like those.
Yeah.
Which but like
shit that we don't catch in the moment also.
Right.
Yeah. I remember listening
and
back.
There's even stuff that like everyone does that I don't catch while we're recording, or maybe like I'm talking to someone and someone's saying something funny like to the side.
Yeah.
And that's shit that you don't catch live, but then you listen back and you're like, when did like fucking Will say that or whatever? Or you're like just hear someone mumble some shit and you're like, when did they say that? Yeah. But it's funny. I mean, that's the thing though, is like that's what I learned too listening. I was like I like laughed at my own jokes while I'm listening, and I'm like, am I a dick for that? But no, because like we're all funny people, and obviously like if you're like aware you're funny, you're obviously like funny in your own head. Yeah. You know, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I used to think the same thing. I'm like, am I weird for laughing at myself? And then I'm like, no, because that's why you make the jokes, because you think it's funny.
You make it because
you're gonna
enjoy
make yourself laugh. Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would get home from like work or something, and I'd be listening to one of the episodes, and fucking I'd walk into the house and I'd be talking to Stina about it, and I'd be like, no one thinks I'm funnier than I think I'm funny. Like, I think I'm a fucking comedy genius. And it's so funny listening to the episodes. I think that's when I started to, like,
figure it out.
Yeah, feel more comfortable with listening to myself. I also remember in the beginning.
Like around, like, sorry, no. That was not married to the question. My bad. It was divorced from the question.
Early on, I remember, like, talking to you about Glitch, because my original concept for the character was, I mean, I've learned how to convey him in the way that I want to, like, towards the end. But in the beginning, I was like, I had based him off of a character from the show Cannon Busters. It's an anime on Netflix. I don't know much beyond watching the fucking only season they have. But, like, in the first episode, they introduce these two, like, robot characters, like, cyborg. I think the one girl's a cyborg. I don't know. They're both robots, but they're both, like, very, like, openly, like, polite, but then hostile towards characters. Like, they're like, let's be friends.
And
then murder people.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I thought it was really funny, because I remember when I originally started, I didn't know what kind of character I wanted to play, and I, like, was watching that, I think, around the time when we were talking about doing this, and I'd come up with the concept for Glitch, and then we were playing, and I was like, I was nervous that I was giving off too much chaotic energy. Like, I didn't want to be the butt of the jokes. Like, well, not that I felt like I was at any point, but I didn't...
You didn't want to put yourself in the position to be.
I just didn't want to be the person that was derailing everything. Like, I wanted to convey a character that could be, like, polite and a little bit... Like, I wanted him to come off as polite, but unhinged. Like, there was something inherently wrong with him.
Yeah. You and then hit that.
When I was
polite, unhinged.
When I was playing him, I was just, like... I felt like I was bordering on the line of being, like deterring the story. Like, I didn't want to derail anything, and I definitely didn't want to be like, ha 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 ha. Wouldn't it be so funny if I fucking punch this dude in the face?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want that kind of energy. I wanted to be like conducive for the story, but I also was like, it was just hard for me to figure out how to convey a character that was like so fucking out there and meant to be chaotic and derailing while also not doing that, like, from a player standpoint.
I think you did it well.
Yeah, I don't think you were derailing at all.
I then tried to lean into, like, being polite, but then I was like, oh, I can play around with him not understanding, like, social.
That was my favorite part of Glitch.
Yeah.
Was that he was, like, very naive and, like, not attuned to, like, social... what would you call it? Like social
like
standards.
Norms, yeah, like cues, yeah.
Because he just like was like, I don't understand that. Why do people do that?
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, yeah, why do we do that when we talk to people or whatever? But he just didn't get it. But it was like funny because the way he interacted with people was chaotic, but he wasn't. Like, he just thought it was normal.
Yeah,
which
like
was
to
funny.
Him, that was
like to him, it was like, yeah, this is just how I operate. And I don't know. It's just funny.
I feel like that's kind of how I started to rein in, like, me feeling more comfortable conveying a unhinged character. Because I was just like, I felt like in the beginning, my natural instincts were just to be like I'm gonna keep saying weird shit. And then I was like, well, I don't really want to do that because that's not conveying how I want to play him. And then I was like, oh, I'll just kind of play off the fact that, like, he doesn't really understand how people interact with each other because he's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't understand, like, being around people.
Which is funny that he's, like, 3 years old because it's like he has even less memory than a 3-year-old. You know what I mean? He has, like, no memory of shit
at all,
before the crash, at least at the beginning of the story.
Yeah,
right.
And then I feel like I really feel like towards the end, like, once Arya got introduced and then becoming chill with, like, Kalila.
Yeah,
Kalaya. I feel like once he started having, like, people outside of just the main group, he felt
his
more...
bad influences?
Yeah. I feel like he started to... I felt more comfortable, like, playing him in a way that was like, okay, like, I feel like this is giving him, like, stepping points to be more, I don't know...
Himself?
Yeah, himself, but in, like, a healthy way, where it was like he wasn't shutting out parts of his personality. He was just kind of integrating them in a healthy way. And I was like, that's when I started, like, truly towards the end was like, I mean, I feel like before that, I was, like, having fun playing around with, like, the social aspect of it. And, like, I enjoyed that. But then towards the end was when it really clicked for me, where I was like, oh, I can be chaotic and funny, and, like, I can have, like, bits that go on with, like, Blint, and I can be annoying to Isaac and, like, kind of be like, I'm gonna make things chaotic if you don't stop me.
Yeah.
And have it be funny and, like, also, like, help the story in the moment, because I started looking at everything as if they were just a scene.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I mean, sounds so simple, but, like, I would do a bit and I'd be like, I'm doing this bit for this scene. Like, it's not going to leak over into every fucking scene that I do. Like, I'm not going to keep making the same joke because I'm playing a chaotic character.
I think that's also, like, you know, like I said, like, playing chaos, but, like, able to keep it, like, dialed in.
Yeah.
In between the dialed in. And
I feel like all the chaos we did have amongst characters in conversation was all very You know, it wasn't like some like home games we've played where we've been like purposefully
I'm gonna
like
light this guy on fire.
yeah, let's burn this guy's house down. Like for like you just got there and you're like, I'm gonna set his house on fire.
Yeah.
But like the chaos we had was very I think it like furthered the character relationships because a lot of it was like, oh, like this one character is gonna make like a rash decision and we're all like, no, or like one character is like, oh, I like just say this weird thing to this other like side character. So I think a lot of the chaos we had was good, where it wasn't like derailing or like it was either funny or it was like furthering the plot through conversation.
I mean, you guys threw some crazy shit at me that I was not expecting throughout the whole thing. So
we were kind of just like, let's do this.
It's a lot of fun. Also, you mentioning what inspired you was also one of my questions for everybody. Like, I know we kind of talked about it before on the podcast, but like, what like hard inspired your characters?
Who wants to say some shit first?
I mean, I kind of went off on mine. I will add a little bit of a tidbit to it because
tid that bit, dude.
Fuck. What the fuck is his name? You played Borderlands, correct?
Yeah.
What's the fucking one little chaos gremlin robot in that game?
Oh my god.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah, like I know his name, but it's just like, hey, you want to talk about someone? Good luck,
It's like
idiot.
Clank something? No, that's Ratchet and
Right?
Clank. No,
I don't remember.
what the fuck?
To anyone who's listening to this episode who knows exactly what I'm
I'll
talking
just
about.
look up Borderlands robot. And
Yeah.
it'll be the first thing that shows up.
When
Someone in chat find that?
yeah. Can we pull up the chat? It's
Claptrap, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've-
Gangplank.
I've played Borderlands
That's a crazy
3, and I haven't played any of the other ones, but Stina told me that, like, that's who she thinks of every time she hears Glitch. So, like, I feel like I really, like, I nailed the little unhinged robot.
It's a fun,
for sure.
a fun type of being. How
Yeah,
about you guys? Like, I mean, even if it's, like, abstract, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, like, a person or something.
So, my first inspiration, I think I talked about it in a different downtime, but was my grandpa because he had like a similar kind of life to Isaac. Like he was in a like kind of orchestral band where he wrote like all of the music. I'm pretty sure like that's like every story I hear about him is that he writes like for every section of the band. And they would play on late night shows like
In Scotland, right?
yeah, in Scotland and like Wales, like all around the UK. He played on like late night shows like the Jimmy Fallon equivalent like in
Gimme.
Scotland back then. So I based a lot of that around my grandpa's life. And then for like characters in fiction, one of the characters I heavily like based the vibe off of was I think his name is Saint Germain from Castlevania Season 3.
Oh, shit, I didn't get that far.
He's like a very similar type of character.
Wasn't he the one that was looking for, like,
he's looking for like the endless hallway or some shit.
Yeah, some shit. I know what you're talking about.
He's looking for some shit to like find his beloved that got lost in like a different realm pretty much. But he's like a very similar like bard type, like gets into trouble, very charismatic. I based also like the wardrobe theme kind of off of him too.
That's so sick. I gotta look this cracker up.
That season is super fucking good, dude.
It's very good.
How about you, buddy?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. For Blint, I don't know if he's based on someone from something I've watched. If it is, it's like probably more subconscious.
Yeah.
Because I kind of just conjured him up.
You based him on like a type of dude, basically.
Yeah, kind of. I based him just on like people that we've all probably met.
Yeah. You've described him as the lacrosse bro who's actually surprisingly left wing.
Yeah, like
And
like
that fits.
the voice and personality of like a kind of like a lacrosse bro who means well, just wants to party, but not like a boat shoes conservative. But I guess his humor is kind of based on maybe like, well, I said Patrick Starr earlier, but definitely wasn't basing him on that. It's just that's kind of who he ended up reminding me of.
Yeah.
But I guess kind of like a 2010s like stoner comedy or some shit.
Seth Rogen.
For some of it, yeah, like a Seth Rogen type.
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, kind of like dumb
Big
humor,
Ashton
like
Kutcher.
yeah, like ignoring the obvious type humor where it's like, what? I don't get it. Or yeah, just being like a dumb, lovable character. I don't even know, but yeah, like his outfits, because you mentioned outfits. I think the one that he's wearing most of the time, I said was like kind of like a Luke Skywalker robe.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, that's just what I pictured.
I mean,
because it kind of reminded
trash.
me of like Blint would probably have grown up in the equivalent of like where Luke Skywalker grew up, but his would be more like farm-ish. But I
Yeah.
picture the same kind of upbringing,
Agree.
like very out in the open, just kind of like him and his family. But Blint's was like a farm, not just like sand and shit.
Yeah.
But
mean,
then later on he wears like a suit. With
They
like
had
a
the blue
Tyler the
milk.
Creator outfit.
Luke Skywalker was raised by his aunt and uncle, so it kind
True,
of tracks
yeah.
with your story.
It'd be Blint, but just like a few miles away is like 40 other family members.
Yeah.
Because that was another bit I
Excessive
really
amount.
enjoyed, is that his family's like massive and they just hung out all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the like. Yeah, like everyone grows up with their cousins as like their friends, but like imagine you had
Yeah,
like 40
A
cousins.
classroom of
Yeah,
cousins.
and like they're all your best friends.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, that'd be fucking funny just to picture him with like 40 other chaotic, stupid bugbears.
I'm gonna get you really high, and I'm gonna make you name all of them, and I'm gonna write them down. And then
fucking do it.
season 2, when we get to Entropica, you're gonna meet all of them.
Yeah, you're gonna
at
have to
once.
like be like, so you walk up to his house and you read like 20 names off.
It's like a clown car, but a house.
Tony Beastwood.
So, yeah, some of them are like really normal names. Some of them are like really fucking stupid names.
We should get speeding through questions. What's everyone's favorite arc?
Oh, Arsene arc for sure.
That's my favorite.
Mm.
That one was my pride and joy, baby.
Wait, how many arcs were there? 3?
There was I could actually.
I don't even think I like remember.
There was
the names.
4
I'm just
arcs.
vibing.
The first arc was
The Crescent City
Crescent
arc.
City.
Crescent City Saga. Then it was Ruins and Ruminations. Then it was the Merc City.
Let's talk about our least favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
honestly, anyone that you guys want to talk about, I mean, it's just mostly to get the brain judged.
No, I felt like I liked Arsene the most because Glitch got to interact with people outside of the group, but then also, like, I feel like it just further enhanced his relationship. Like, I feel like his dynamics outside of the group helped him kind of, like, approach Blint and Isaac in a way that, I don't know, felt like more of a loving, but like comfortable with like joking around with them type of way.
Yeah, you not respected, appreciated them more.
Yeah, like I felt like it definitely like he wasn't relying on them so much, or like wasn't questioning things as much. Like he was just like, this is my family now. These are people that I like care about and want to protect. And like, yeah, I definitely I feel like it was very, as a player and as the character, it was confusing interacting with people where it was like, I don't understand my own dynamic. Like, how am I supposed to then also like create one with people who I also don't know what they're
understand.
going for? Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was tough.
But hey, we fucking did it, baby.
Yeah. Arsene was also fun with all like the mystery shit. There was a lot of really good characters in it.
That was so
Yeah.
much fun.
I agree. I think like Crescent City was fun because it was kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It was us like figuring things out for like
yeah.
us in real life playing our characters, and it was kind of set the precedent of like a lot of running jokes and kind of like a little bit of our cockiness because we're like, oh, we're heroes, you know.
Yeah.
And then Arsene, I think, was my favorite because it, like you said, it felt like the most like detailed kind of like paper trail. Everything leads to something else, which is really cool.
Mm.
And
Thank you.
yeah.
How about you, Will?
I would say the Crescent City one also, because I feel like so many like notable things happened in it, like almost dying.
Oh, in the Forest of Cats, yeah.
Yeah, meeting the thieves and Pinsent.
Oh, yeah.
That going into Pinson's house, that shit was so stupid.
You like talking to his mom and like like just like rubbing her arm
Yeah.
while her,
You said
while her
Like
dad's
flirting with his mom.
while
Yeah.
his dad's getting a fucking foot massage from
you
who was it? Was it
you
you?
sat down next to the mom and you're like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah,
As Blint was massaging their feet.
Or
as
Glitch,
no,
yeah,
Glitch
Glitch
was-
I was like
massaging-
rubbing her back. I'm like, it's gonna be all right.
But yeah, I feel like there's so many like different things that happened. It felt like very full to me, and I looking back on it, it feels way longer than it was.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I the only thing I will say about it is that was kind of the blueprint for me of like what would like a concise arc, and that's why I was like that could have been one season, and then like I feel like I definitely took like a dive in because it was like a really quick pace
Mhm.
the entire time, and it was like only like 10 episodes or like 12 if you include the Quentin stuff, but it took a huge hit at the Ruins of Carathuan arc, the Ruins and Rumination arc. And then I feel like I tried to pick it back up with the Merc City, but it just didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And it wasn't until we got to Arsene where I was like, I'm getting this shit figured out. And yeah, I'm glad everyone liked the arcs that are also my favorite because I think it's just like, that was the most concise the podcast has been.
Yeah.
Crescent City kind of felt like a lot of, which is cool to have different pacing. Like Crescent City felt like a lot of like short burst like moments. Like each episode
Yeah.
was almost something different, like a little mini
Little
journey
taste.
or challenge or whatever. And then Arsene was like equally as good but different because Arsene was like a build up.
Yeah.
So like in
The
Crescent
slow
City it was
burn.
like one episode we're doing this, the next episode we're doing this. And it was cool.
I think
And
that was
then-
also me not understanding what I wanted to do with the show at that point. It was kind of
Yeah,
just like,
but it
let's
was kind of
struggle
cool
a
to
little
have that, you know, where, and then in the middle was like a little bit of both, where we were doing different things almost every time, and it was still building up to something, and then obviously at the end with Arsene, it was kind of like the whole thing was like a build up.
Yeah.
Rather, like everything was different each episode, but it all was like culminating to one thing.
And
at the
it
end.
felt so cool doing all of that. Like that was like
Yeah.
I'm glad
You're
we ended
figuring
it.
it out along the way, because obviously like we
Yeah.
were like trying to guess who did the kidnapping or whatever, and
Which
then
this
like you're
motherfucker
slowly
guessed it the first episode. we rap and you're like, it's Andorn. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to
That
the
was
bathroom.
Fucking,
No, it's not.
I love doing that because you can always just slightly read it on Mikey's face if you
I'm bad
do
at
it.
hiding my emotions, dude.
Like if you say the thing that Mikey's thinking of that's like coming up in a D&D game, you could 100% see
Yeah,
it
he
on his
farts a little.
face.
I always try
Sounds a
to
little-
do that when we play. I always like try to say the thing that you don't want us to know, and then I'll look at you and it's like a build up for me, and I'm like, is it this thing? And then you just look at me and you're like, shut up. No.
Yeah.
Don't dox me.
The funny
dude.
part is I can like see you guys doing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna let them.
They can play in this space.
Yeah, because half the time I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I'm over here like completely on the other side of the fence. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. You guys like, it's this guy, isn't? And I'm like. I'm just like
Is it?
watching you guys talk. I'm like, it's like a tennis match where I'm like,
We're playing chess over here.
yeah, and
baby.
you guys like going back and forth, and then yeah, you guys like get it right, and then Mikey's like, no, and I'm over here like,
I do
yeah.
my little toot, and you know, you got it right.
Yeah, it's
When
like,
he farts a little bit.
it's not. It's
When he
not
farts
his
on
fault.
your hand a little bit, that's when you know he's
You
lying.
gotta stop putting your hand near my butt, dude.
Bro, you know I always fart a little
Pat
when I
him on the
lie.
I'm gonna
He
fart in your
farts.
hand if you got it right. What did you say?
It's like you pat him on the butt and he farts.
I have a question for you.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I keep trying to.
What was the most shocking thing like that we did that you were not expecting?
Oh, that's a good one.
Let's go through.
Fucking good one. He's like,
I mean, there's
90% of the show.
yeah, truly.
After Crescent City, everything was a mess.
They're literally. That's kind of accurate. There was a period of time where I was writing like the night before, or even the day, like the hour before we had to be here.
Every scenario.
So it was all surprising. But no, the easy answer would be like, you know, the end of the season with the Pale King thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a really easy answer because you don't expect the divine intervention shit. It's funny that it happened very similarly to other podcasts that have used divine intervention. But it
Yeah.
was like we got to do it in a fun way, not at the end of a campaign. We got to do it like this is going to inform the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, like this is gonna impact us so fucking heavily
at the
when
very
we
end.
go back.
The very end, yeah, with the
That shit felt like, because
thing.
obviously I'm not, keen on everything.
Yeah.
But just watching that unfold, I was like, this feels like when you like YouTube how to beat like something in a video game, and it's like this weird like this guy's played this level 100 times to figure this out type of thing, and then he's like, yeah, you could fight this guy head on, but if you hit this rock in the corner, it kills it. And then you're like,
Like a
oh,
cheat
and then you
code.
go on your like PlayStation and you do it, and you're like, finally, I fucking beat this thing. That's what it felt like, this weird shortcut where it's like, oh, we don't have to do any of this.
Which it did like shoot like a whole plot hook in the face, but it also made it way more interesting because now it's like he's up, half of his soul is still in the astral sea. But now he's got this foreign substance in him.
I was trying to read that situation because like I could tell the way that you were setting it up from like a writing perspective, and I kept trying to think of a way that I was like, what would be the most interesting thing that I could do right now? Because we had leveled up the fucking that episode, or like the episode before or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, fuck, I have divine intervention. And I was looking at it, and it's one of those abstract abilities that they give you where it's very much like...
The DM decides what...
Yeah, it's like you and your DM figure it out together. It's a very much a storytelling like thing that they give you for your class, which like I do enjoy, but I feel like if you're playing with someone who you're not comfortable with, which I am very comfortable playing with all of you guys, and like... So I was like, I know that I can like... kind of put this out there, and Mikey will do something interesting with it.
I appreciate that.
Because I was like reading the situation, and I was like, the whole episode, the entire episode, that's all that was going on in my head was, I'm going to use this because it is going to be like, cool. I'm hoping that it ends up becoming something very cool.
We've talked about this not on camera, but I was not planning on taking Arya's soul. Or, I mean, sliver of her soul.
Yeah.
I was going to take, it was first Isaac, and then you just started speaking up, and, you were like, please, you put yourself in the way of Isaac, essentially. And then I was like, I just said that, I was saying her name to, warn you. I said Princess Arya, and then you didn't let me speak. You just went, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to fucking take that then. That's going to make him so much more sad.
There was no way, because you were like, oh, he's going to take your soul. And I was like, well, I'll do it. And then you started to say her name, and that was, the worst case scenario.
I was literally just going to be like, Glitch, no, I can't feel you, as much as I did. And then it was going to be, a glitch thing of, no. But then I was like, that's way cooler if it,
yeah, that was way more interesting.
Because you're like, oh, let me talk to the scariest person I've ever seen in my entire life who gives me all my power and expect him to do something, the better option.
Kind.
Yeah, kinder option, which would be taking you.
God, it was like me, because I had imagined the scenario where, Glitch got pulled out of his body, and I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. It'd give me potentially an opportunity to play a different character. And also, I was just in action mode where I was like, no, Glitch is going to put himself in harm's way. Glitch is going to be the one that's going to give himself up. I'm very much, I want to, put my character in harm's way to make things more interesting.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's far more fun.
But to me, the interesting part of that is it's more interesting to show, that's not always good for everyone else around you.
Yeah.
It's throwing yourself at the problem is going to hurt other people.
Yeah, well, because in my head, that makes for an interesting story is, your actions affect the people around you. And I was excited to, play that out. And then you brought up the Princess Arya thing, and that fucking broke my fucking heart. I was like, this person who I'm connecting with, I'm bonding with, who is, an outlet for Glitch to, kind of figure his shit out. And she's being taken away from him, and it's he's a kid, so...
And also, I mean, you're truly the only person that can, help her with the situation and the theme.
Yeah, literally. So it was just, it definitely put... I feel like the one thing I struggled with Glitch with the entire season was I felt so out of place, because I did this to myself.
You made a character that was, purposely out of place.
Yeah, I made a character that might as well have been from literally anywhere else. He was so detached from what was going on. So, all the threads that kind of started to come together towards the end he started to feel, more in line with what was happening. And then I feel like taking Princess Arya away and putting him in fucking Wyatt.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Guy name. Yeah.
I was like, if
man name.
I don't know this name, I'm gonna sound like a dick. So I'm gonna guess a name, which is way worse.
That was way out of there.
We should have just breezed past it. People would have been like, "Who the fuck are they
We
talking?"
could have done it in post, dude.
You're like fucking Wyatt. And we're like, yeah.
Will puts his hand on my shoulder after he goes, his name's not Wyatt. Just so
It's
you know.
not even close, my guy.
But if your name's Wyatt,
Hey.
like and subscribe.
But putting her in Curtis is a very interesting thing because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be crazy.
I thought you were going, like, my brain was leaning towards you were going to put the Pale King inside of Curtis.
Because
That's what I thought
because of
also.
lore reasons, he can't necessarily do that.
Yeah, that's valid. I just thought it was interesting because I was like, ooh, I might be creating an evil person.
Oh, you already are enabling an evil person.
Oh, well, I know I'm
by-
enabling them, but I was like, oh, maybe this is like me creating the evil fucking boss.
I mean, we'll see. To not give too much away, what other questions do you guys have? That you prepared, or would you prefer me to keep asking you guys? Because I have a fuck ton. But yeah, let's hear.
So if I had opened my magical mystery box when I first got it, when Luca first gave it to me, what would I have gotten?
Like immediately,
Yeah.
something really stupid, something like actually dumb. It was like if you were hungry in that moment. I would probably ask you if you were hungry. I would ask you if you what did Isaac want the most at that moment? What was the pressing issue in that moment?
A legendary item.
Because there's no way it was like your actual stuff. In that moment, it was like, I don't trust this wizard, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
So it probably would have just given you something to either like see that like he's not a shithead, or it would have literally been like, here's a breakfast burrito.
Oof. Okay. Glad I didn't open it.
Because I told you, I was like, when I gave it to you, I was like, this is literally like Chekhov's gun.
Right.
It'll help you with a plot moment when you're near it.
Why didn't you open that when fucking we got to Curtis's thing?
He already opened it before then.
I didn't open it.
You opened it on the ship before we got to Curtis's, to Ostra Tower.
No, I didn't.
What? Oh my God! Sorry, I got it mixed up with the mystery key.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you did the legend lore on it, and I thought it was the. Oh yeah, you didn't open the box yet. I mean, that would have been interesting.
Sure, that would have
What's in
been.
the box?
What's in the box?
It can't like teleport things to it. It just can make items essentially that help.
Could have made another Curtis.
Yeah, it just clones people.
Yeah.
I have a question. This one comes right from the fans.
Yeah.
What the fuck's gonna happen? / where the fuck is Glitch's cat? Because we joked around about
That
it
actually-
off camera, but we totally forgot there was a cat involved.
Our one listener that we have actually actively brings that up.
Apollo?
Yeah.
Good.
He was asking about tuna.
Yeah.
We gotta hold this
He
mustachioed
brings it up.
man accountable.
I feel like that cat is just doing other shit.
That
I-
cat's on its own side quest.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
fighting
kind of on
people.
me because I was like, oh, I love cats. Glitch is going to be interested in cats. Like, this is dope. But then it was truly like my low attention span brain that was like, this isn't important. I'm never going to bring it up.
I didn't build my character around having a familiar.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's funny because I remember a few episodes after that one, we all like off camera were like, you were like, wait, doesn't Glitch have a cat? We all just started laughing. And we're like, wait, you do have a cat? And you're
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't know.
It's so fucking good. Yeah,
so funny.
I think you joked that he was like in your jacket at one point.
Maybe
a
I'll
later episode.
Maybe we can try and make him like more important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
True.
down to workshop some things. You're definitely going to need an emotional support cat at this point.
Exactly. That's what I figured. I figured if he doesn't have Arya, like he might as well lean on fucking Tuna.
How about you? Do you have any questions?
Uh,
If not, I'm just not me putting you on the spot. I just have a bunch too.
well, I'm trying to think because I feel like I'm just a little fucking nosy piece of shit, and I just want to know like about the fucking opening more, about the
Oh, the
thing?
fucking
Fucking egg yolk in the sky.
Oh, like from the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, the
like
fucking
50 years ago shit.
Yeah, the fucking egg whites in the sky.
What the fuck? I don't
It
even
was like
remember
an
that.
embryo. It was like a little.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It was like a fetus, like a giant fetus.
Yeah, I'm
Like some
interested in that.
Teletubby shit.
Yeah,
Literally.
it was like the giant baby sun in the sky.
Yeah.
It's constantly talking. We're like, shut up. You can hear it everywhere we go. It's like, and we're like, stop.
We should have done that. Like throughout the whole episode, you just hear occasional like.
Baby
An
sound.
occasional goo goo.
They do that in Bloodborne. There's a part of the game that you get to where you hear baby crying randomly
Oh, I don't
in
like
an
that.
area. Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
That's
Horrifying.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Annabelle.
That reminds me of the Vietnam War.
And it wasn't
Actually.
it wasn't a baby. It was my trench mate.
My trench foot.
It grew a mouth and
Smoking
started
that
screaming.
trench foot. Smoke that
So,
shit that gave him
But what do you want to know about it? I can't just tell you.
I
like-
know. Well, that's what I mean when I'm a nosy little bitch, because like I just want you to fucking tell me more about it.
Why don't you just read the Wikipedia?
Yeah, write a Wikipedia
I-
page for me. That's important, I'm assuming.
It is
Like,
extremely important. He like that being is probably who will be the like big bad
right.
at the end of the
You
campaign.
have to fight the sky.
The sky. Well, no, it's like it was like
The
it's a
sky
god.
baby?
It's a god that like was just birthed essentially, and and like ripped. You know, it like stole from the material plane to make its own plane.
So he doesn't want uppies. He wants downies.
Yeah, he wants to.
He wants to come down and beat our
Yeah.
ass.
You don't really know his motives yet, but
Yeah, he hasn't been introduced to the campaign.
there has been a lot of Easter eggs and hints towards it
Really?
that I've mentioned like a million times throughout the campaign.
Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of assume. I do think you explicitly said this, but I know that the fucking the negative pockets,
Negative zones,
yeah, are like the leftover remnants of like him ripping shit from the material plane.
Yeah, he like ripped reality, and like because of him like stealing actual like I mean in real life, you know, if you like suck oxygen out of the air, it's not gonna like I don't think create a pocket,
right.
but because it's because of like the raw magic of like the force you need to do that, it left like imprints on the world essentially.
Left like cookie cutter marks in reality.
Exactly, yeah. Like it just and then it just sucks there. It just
Yeah.
sucks wherever those are. So
Damn. We should go there.
David said suck the soul out, and I bottled laughter so hard. I was like, I'm a fucking baby.
I'm also
Yeah.
I was very much stifling a lot of jokes throughout that conversation.
Towards the end when things were getting really serious, yeah, there were so many times where we could have been like, you know, the cum piss equivalent.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but
god!
we
That was
gotta-
actually the most surprising moment. Is
Gotta
that he
make a
turned compass
compilation.
into a perverted thing? Or not
That's the
perverted.
dumbest
A
joke.
childish
I was
thing.
really leaning into doing a dumb joke every episode, like just the worst joke that I could come up with. And
Just anti-humor.
that was the one where I was like, please, let's not dwell on this. Like, I promise you the payoff is not worth it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we did dwell on it because
Yeah.
I drew too much attention to myself.
There's a point where I had to physically stop myself from giggling because I'm like, okay, we've laughed at it like at least 5 times.
was
I'm
like-
but anytime you said it, like I would just be over here like,
It's like
and I was like, it's so stupid that you like almost have to laugh.
it's when you're fucking in class and your teacher's like, all right, class, like settle down, like let's move on, and
Yeah.
then they say it again, and you're like
Yeah,
making eye contact with your friend, like
like the more you're,
It's funnier because you can't laugh.
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Like the more you're not supposed to laugh, the funnier it is, even though it's like so dumb.
Yeah, it was
But, like,
the worst joke I probably have ever.
I mean,
made
it
in
was
my life.
hilarious
It caught
because
on,
I
yeah.
didn't even think about it, and then you said it. I'm like, wait, that's funny because it's right there. It's right there in front of us the whole time. Like, a lot of times we take something that's like a normal sentence and we're like, we make it like perverted or whatever. That one was right there, and I didn't even see it.
But do you know what baffled me more? His ass is blatantly in the word compass, and he decided to make it compass.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get more. I'm gonna get fucking locked in because we're running up the time here. Isaac or Will. I mean, Isaac's 3 for 3 with an unknown fifth. Curtis, as far as or 3 for 4. Sorry, with an unknown fifth. as far as making amends with his ex-bandmates. Which one was the biggest surprise given the descriptors you gave me originally? Because Will fully described all of these characters that, like, the bandmates.
Between all of them?
At least the ones you've met, I suppose. Or seen via fucking Kima.
Right. I mean, Kalaya obviously had a massive change. But I think probably Simon was, like, the biggest surprise to me. Because I did not expect him... Like, I didn't expect to see him, like, till very late in the story, honestly. And to see him, like, chill and, like, doing good now, I was like, holy fuck. Like,
he was the very, like... I think we originally described him as very, like... didn't take care of himself, very meek.
Yeah, he was kind of a secluded, like, introvert type person.
Tortured artist type guy.
Yeah. And we also had a thing of him, like... He made a point to, like, give things away, and that was more of, like, a backstory thing for him. And I think we talked about it in the season.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think Simon was definitely the biggest surprise, because I either thought he was going to be, like...
The easiest?
Yeah, the easiest, or, like, dead somewhere, honestly.
Yeah, I played around with, like... my original idea for him was he was going to be in, like, a bandit encampment, where they kind of, like, originally he was the prisoner, and then he just, like, they were like, oh, this guy's chill, and then just, like, let him out, and he just hangs out with them, but he's not, like, a bandit.
Right.
And then I was like, no, that's kind of boring, because you gave me such, like, cool, you, like, really went into him as far as his backstory and, like, how he thinks. So I was like, yeah, I gotta make it, like, I gotta twist it a little bit.
Yeah. But fucking, I mean... Kalaya became a whole ass fucking pirate captain, treasure hunter.
She was like supposed to be like the archmage of Clearwater.
Yeah.
And she was like she was a pianist. She was like a shy. I think you said she only really opened up when, because he described specifically the type of drunk each person was in the band. Quentin was an angry drunk. Simon was a sad drunk.
Yeah, he was like a crying drunk.
Crying drunk. You said Kalaya was like the dancing drunk or whatever.
No, Kalaya was an angry drunk.
Oh, she was too.
Was it?
I don't have it on me.
Know.
But you described her as like only becoming like emotive when she was drunk.
Yeah, she was very reserved when Isaac knew her as a youth.
Very like British gentry type kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Where it's like, be very polite and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's a pirate.
Yeah, it was like the same vibe as someone who is going to inherit like some kind of like royalty, and they're like, oh, I have to be this and I have to be that, so no one thinks differently of me. And that was the kind of vibe she had going into it.
It was so much fun to just be like, oh yeah, guess what? She's a prolific pirate now.
Yeah, fucking nuts. I love it.
But okay, let's do everybody.
What are your other silly little questions?
My silly little question.
Ask more silly questions.
I already asked you about the being dumb thing.
I already asked you about being a piece of shit.
Fucking stupid. Was it did you get some peace of mind seeing Vlev's up to his usual like antics and gyroflex at the end there?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect because I was like, oh, maybe we'll end up there or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the simplicity of their conversation made it peaceful and kind of funny, because you'd think like they'd have so much to say to each other after all this time, given how close they are. But it really, they didn't say much, but it kind of shows their relationship, where they're like just like chill dudes who never really are like panicking or anything, you know?
Yeah.
They're kind of just like, no matter what, I'll just figure it out eventually.
I had Vlev being kind of different originally, and then I know, like, when you lent into your character, and I was like, well, he learned from Vlev, so Vlev has to be a little bit like Blint.
Yeah, Vlev is probably more outgoing and chaotic and more of like a leader than Blint is. Blint is kind of just like a follower, as far as like he has a lot of thoughts and opinions, but he kind of just, he's not a leader in the way like he'll make the first move. He kind of like a little bit of a people pleaser, where he's just kind of like, oh, I just want to like do my part. I don't want to like step out of line or whatever. Whereas Vlev is definitely more chaotic because he led like a rebellion.
Yeah, so like a full-on.
He's in jail for leading a rebellion. But no, I think it was cool the way that happened because obviously we like alluded to Vlev the whole time, but it was cool to like hear him,
Yeah, like finally
and know that he's just chilling, just waiting.
he basically like struck up a deal with a guard so that he could like be protected.
Yeah, which is some shit he would like. It's just
Some
furthers
Vlev
his
shit.
character too, because he's kind of like this mover and shaker, like backdoor deal type guy. Kind of like
Sleazeball.
mafia strategy type dude. So it makes sense.
It was fun. It was cool to get to do that because I don't know. I felt like we needed to give you some closure for some Blint stuff.
Yeah, that's
'Cause everyone
definitely
else
like
was
his
getting
main thing too. Is like he wants to find Vlev, who's like his main father figure.
The OG Isaac.
Yeah, like he's since he what did Blint say? Like he's not close with his parents or whatever because they were very like pressuring of him or whatever. So he's kind of finding like his role models and other people that are more left of center. Like his parents are just like the typical like do good, like work hard, don't
Toe your land.
yeah, like don't push the limits or the boundaries of society or whatever.
Yeah.
And all the people he looks up to are people that are like kind of on the outside of their own circles, like their
Fringe
archetype
figures.
circle where they're like, yeah, I'm this, but I'm pushing this boundary, trying to be this type of person, or like I'm breaking these rules. Like he looks up to Isaac because Isaac's like, I'm leaving the royalty, I'm like seeking out my own adventure. And then like Vlev was like, yeah, I grew up in the super Christian country or continent. He's like, fuck that, like
I gotta get out.
they're all corrupt, let's do something about it.
Which, oh my god, I can't. That whole thing could easily be a different campaign.
Dude.
Yeah.
With the masters of the key close and shit.
One thing I loved to find out later in the season was how similar our backstories were.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's wild.
We hadn't discussed it going into the game, but like Isaac had like a similar backstory. Like parents just wanted him to be a farmer, like pick up the family business. Like they didn't even want him to like leave the town they were from, just like kind of stay in the same area. And Isaac did the same thing, like surrounding himself with like people from all areas of the world and shit.
Yeah,
And
and,
then,
they're
like-
kind of like pushing back on the standards that people put on them.
It's funny that you bring that up. I remember a point where you went in the beginning earlier. I think you mentioned it again later. But Blint really, really thought that Isaac came from royalty the whole time. Now, did you tell them in game that you like grew up on a farm?
I think way later.
Eventually,
I
yeah.
think it came up later. I
Way
think
later
I
in
think
the
we
story.
assumed that because that's where we met him. He was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
leaving.
from the castle.
And he
yeah.
carried
Yeah.
himself like that. But it was so funny because it's like Isaac actually does have a lot in common with these two kids,
Mhm.
essentially.
It kind of makes sense too because Isaac's a little bit more like withdrawn. Like we're annoying, so we're telling people
Your
our
whole
business
story.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then Isaac's more like
I've seen shit.
lets it out a little bit at a time. So it kind of fits because we just on the surface we're like, oh, he comes from royalty. He's like we're like, oh, he's probably like uppity and whatever. And then it just makes sense given our characters that he's like, actually no, not from that at all, really.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because we're very like forthcoming, and he's a little bit more like the fucking Simpsons meme in the shadow where he's just like smoking a cigarette. Yeah.
And how did you feel finally like meeting your patron deity?
Interesting, because we knew about the Pale King from early on with like the eyes thing with Isaac, and I did not think that I was I didn't think that my patron was gonna be like a big thing. Like I know that we kind of talked more about it after we had played a couple times, where I was like, yeah, like I feel like I saw something in the void of space when I was crashing to the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And I, like, honestly, it wasn't that I was set on an idea. It was more just, like, how I was imagining it as I was describing it to you. I just imagined I saw, like, fucking a constellation of, like, a woman or something. Like, just some fucking big, like, Amazonian fucking big-haired woman in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I originally imagined it. And then I was, like, found out that I was connected to the Pale King, and I was like, whoa, holy, wait a second, what?
That was just me being obsessed with the character because I was
It-
like, he's fucking cool, and then I connected him to another character, and I was like, all
I'm
right.
happy that you did that, though, because I was struggling for a while with the I just felt so. I was excited to play Glitch and I was excited to be a part of everything, but the one thing that I felt like I was missing was, and it was truly my own fault, was not writing him closer to the story. Because I was like, we came up with like all the places and then we decided to start where we did, and I like, when we originally came into recording, like when we originally started talking about recording, I wanted to be as I wanted it to be as easy on me as possible, and I was like very much pulling away from like leaning into writing my character out, because I was like, you know, I'm dedicating a day of the week to this. Like, I was very much, I felt like I was the most like drawn back from it. Like I felt like you guys had to like convince me to get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm so busy all the time. It's so hard for me to dedicate like time and energy to this. And I know if I like full send it, like I cannot control myself when I do that, and it'll just consume my life. And I like wrote my character so bare bones because I was like, you know, I'm used to doing that. Like I can fucking figure it out as I go, which I'm not mad that I did that. Like I am happy that things turned out the way that they did.
If you wrote it harder, it might have not connected things the same.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely feel like I did a good thing by leaving myself space to figure my character out as I went. But it was the only thing that I felt like was missing for me personally was I was just like, I feel like I'm in someone else's adventure. Like I kept trying to bring my own shit into it, and I kept trying to be like, I always felt connected to what was happening, but I just felt like there was a distance between like, Glitch just kind of felt like he was, you know, along for the ride as opposed to like driving the car.
Yeah.
And then eventually like it just felt like it didn't feel like that anymore, and I feel like we all started connecting like, as saying that as if we haven't known each other for years. I feel like
I really
our
started to get to know you guys. Yeah.
Once I started to fuck with you guys, like things felt great.
Once I decided to like you.
I mean, when I heard the casting call for the show,
I was not fucking.
Where we had to pretend to be friends and play a game. Like it was weird at first.
It was weird for me.
I was reading the script and like
it didn't seem believable.
It wasn't like clicking for me in the beginning, but.
Yeah,
I found it. Yeah.
It was really the cocaine budget that really threw me.
No, once our characters started to connect more, and I felt like there was a lot of character-driven things that were happening. I felt a lot better about it. And then obviously with the Prince Arya shit, and then the fucking the Zephyr Crux, the fucking.
I think I changed the name halfway.
I don't know.
I think it started Aether Crux and then it became Zephyr Crux.
You always change it every time we talk about it.
That's what happens when you don't write shit down every episode. So that's
what happens when you're a skeevy little pervert. When are we gonna find out more about Glitch's dad? I'm very curious.
I mean,
about
fuck
that.
yeah!
Do that right now.
Probably when you get to Anathema, unless you keep trying to talk.
I want to learn more about that dude.
Well, I can't tell you a lot without like spoiling things. He's a dwarf.
He's the baby god.
He's the baby god. Yeah. It's just personal stuff that David like asked me to throw in. He's like, make my shit sad. Make my shit really fucked up and sad.
We need a sad story in this shit.
You got it. This motherfucker has the saddest story. Like his father is such a tortured figure, and I literally can't say anything.
No, it's okay.
I mean, when you heard it, he didn't recognize Glitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. That's fucking sad.
He's just making like 50 little baby robots. He's like, which one are you?
I mean, I think a lot of the things that Glitch remembers about him aren't even real. Not real. They're not like clear-cut memories. It's a lot of like the way that his eyes glinted in the like fucking the deep like caverns.
I honestly didn't really spend much time thinking about how he interacted with anyone before he left.
Yeah.
And then I think the more you played into the idea that Glitch didn't remember shit, it made me, I don't know, it made it easier for me to be like, oh, that's very much just in line with the fact that I truly, as a person, do not know. Then I didn't really have to lean into the fact of being like, this is my dynamic with my family, because it was something I didn't think about. I just had ideas that I told you about, and I was like, let's explore that when we get there. But as of right now, Glitch is like, built into his character is the wholesome, he thinks his name is the greatest creation, because when he was like booted up, his dad was like, "You're my greatest creation," and he's just like, "Well, that's my name."
Hi, great.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dad.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean, he's blue. I mentioned that at one point. He's a dwarf.
He's fat.
He's based on Brock from God of War.
I thought you were gonna say Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's like he's a pervert.
Brock.
He's a pervert.
Brock Lesnar, at least as far as his neck is concerned.
Well, his name's Brock, so I just thought of the
you know.
first 3 Brocks. I could think of. Brock from Pokemon, Brock Lesnar, Brock from that game. I combined them. He's a short, short, wide-necked
pervert.
Yeah.
I want to ask everybody, if your character had to choose, what NPC would they have join the group permanently, and is that different from what you would choose as a person?
Ooh.
Oh, Glitch would have Kalaya permanently join the group because he's a
Swag.
Yeah. David would have. I'm very interested to see how Curtis turns out.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm interested in that, but personally, I would want unrealistically the fucking dark paladin dude from the beginning.
Oh, Thorn.
More realistically, his, I'm assuming purposefully, the other side of the coin, Oberon.
Oh, Oberyn?
Oberon, yeah.
Fucking Sora's son?
Yeah. He would be dope to have join. Because I just imagine Oberon as the light version of Thorn. Which I don't know if you did that intentionally.
Not intentionally, but actually, kinda. Also, you saying that it's unrealistic is unrealistic.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
What? You'll find out 3 years from now when we pick up season 2.
Tune in 2026.
Yeah. That's insane.
Those of us who remain will jump on the show.
Bro, we'll
But
be...
we're not picking up in 2026. It's gonna be like
We'll
next
be like
year.
fucking 28 when that happens.
Don't tell me that.
Imagine doing this when we're
Imagine
30.
being 30.
Imagine doing art when we're 30.
I might have more time to do it in my 30s.
facts.
I'm gonna have at least 4 kids by then.
Pumping them out quick. How about you guys? NPCs that your character would want,
I'm
but
trying
what
to think
you
of
might
like
want.
who Blent bonded with because I really don't remember.
We met so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering. I feel there was one that fucked with Blent, but I can't remember.
Quentin fucked with you immediately, but you guys weren't vibing with him immediately because of the weird uncle energy, which I don't fault
Blent
you
was a little
for.
standoffish with most. Either they were standoffish with him because he was like, "Hey, hi, hey," or he was just like would just fuck with them. So I don't know.
You really liked... No, who do you really like? I mean, your aunt was dope. You guys got along.
Yeah, I guess he would probably say his aunt just 'cause it's
Patricia.
his aunt. But Nathan would say,
You did really get along with Joe the asshole, the goblin.
dude, I was
that
gonna say
Joe's
Joe
asshole.
the asshole just to be funny because that was the first name that popped in my head.
I mean, you love Italians.
She knows it too. That's the worst part.
And Joe was definitely the only canonical
Secret's out.
Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot we made Italian a race.
The lone Italian.
It's like a Western song.
The lone Italian. Clint Eastwood is the lone Italian.
That's
And he
fucking
lifts his
so
head and
on
he goes,
brand with his
"Gabagool."
character. Yeah.
It
He
is.
literally is the man with no name from that fucking trilogy of movies.
He really
Who
is.
is Joe?
No, Clint Eastwood. He does not. His character doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
In The Good, the Bad, and the
They
Ugly.
purposely
That's
don't name
fucking
him.
crazy.
Yeah, he is referred to as the man with no name.
Riding through the desert on a horse with no name.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking banger of a song.
So what are your final answers?
Blinn would say Patricia. Nate would say, I'll say Joe the asshole.
Fuck yeah.
Just for shits and gigs. He's chaotic.
How about you, buddy? How about you?
How about you?
Isaac would say fucking Oberon
Hell yeah.
because he's just dope. That's Isaac's buddy.
It's like his son at that point.
Yeah. That's Isaac's stepchild, basically.
You wouldn't say Jezra, dude?
Huh?
Jezra? You wouldn't
Yeah.
say, you wouldn't say him?
Jizzbag? You wouldn't say Jizzbag?
No, I don't want fucking Jezra around.
I don't get to do a Matt Berry impression for the entire
Jizra?
campaign.
God, fuck no.
New York
Wait.
City.
Can we have a character named Jizz in the next one? But
Sure.
we don't acknowledge that it's Jizz. Like,
I'll
his
write
name's
that
Jizz,
down.
but we don't laugh at it one time.
As long as everyone's serious about it.
Like,
yeah.
this is Jizz Jinglehort. He's a little scary mouse
There's
man.
no way I could say that.
Jizz Jinglehort? He's a little mouse salesman.
but what character?
Sorry.
Okay. But what character would you choose, or characters? I guess.
I would pick Derek, definitely.
Oh my god!
So we could beat the shit out
Derek
of him.
would be fun to travel around with.
That would be
He
fun.
probably would be, yeah.
I don't play. I mean, I play every character, so I don't get a real choice. But my choice would be Gristledor, the old
man.
guy that you guys
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
bring him
blew the
back.
horn. I want to. I think I will at some point.
Still regretting not stealing from him after I knocked him out with the vase.
You should
or
have stole
whatever.
him, so I could have kept playing him.
Wasn't he wearing a kimono?
He was wearing this silk bathrobe, so basically a kimono,
Yeah, he's like,
like
"Hey."
like a fucking vultured kimono
I
essentially.
picture him as I picture him looking like Jeff Goldblum, but like with really long like beach bum hair. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
homeless old guy who lives like in
Sun
Florida.
bleached.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, like he has like the personality of Jeff Goldblum, but he looks like a homeless like beach bum.
I
He's
picture
like
my
he's
Uncle
vaguely
Wally.
pervy and kind of like, hey, what's going on?
I picture my Uncle Wally. He looks like Barnacle Boy.
A giant nose,
Yeah.
got that alcoholic nose, just giant and red.
We hit like straight up all the questions I had. Besides, what are we looking to? What are we excited to explore in season 2? Like, where are we gonna? What do you guys think your characters' headspaces are at, or just like plot threads that you're excited to?
I mean, selfishly, I'm interested in Anathema. Definitely now interested in the fucking Pale King. I'm actually also, like, thirdly, very interested in Curtis now.
How do we think oh my god, how do we think the Laerith and Frostbaron shit like sits in the story?
Oh, no idea at all, but also interested in the fucking boy figure, the boyish fucking monologue shit you did. Laerith and what did you say, the Frostbarons?
Yeah,
I'm interested because you keep dropping lore about it, but I have no idea. Like, in my brain, I thought it was like this is lore, he. And
Is that when he like opens the door and
Yeah.
sees like the?
There was stuff on the murals in
Yeah.
the Undercroft or whatever the fuck I called it, and then the key that he had, he used legend lore, which allowed him to like see into its history, and he saw the like Frostbaron portal,
Frostbaron Civil War.
basically. But how about you guys? What are you guys looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to visiting the fucking the graveyard of blades in the astral sea.
Oh yeah, Isaac's vision. I was gonna ask if there's any
Graveyard of
regrets.
Blades. Holy
Well,
shit.
that will end on the regrets because that's funny.
Yeah.
But the
Records.
Graveyard of Blades, I'm excited for that.
That's
Oh.
fucking straight out of Kingdom Hearts, bro. What the fuck?
I've never even played those games.
The Keyblade Graveyard.
Oh, that sounds
But
fun.
I would like to go there just because fucking I saw that vision and I'm just like,
I second
that's
that
wacky. But also I want to fucking next season I want to steal that sword, the flaming sword in the middle of the Frostbaron town.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do right now. But I know you're gonna be like, they need it to live here.
It's Laerith's sword.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
That'd be fucking
Laerith's
baller. Just
sword.
to have a flaming sword.
Excalibur shit.
Yeah.
True. But
I'm
yeah.
excited to see Entropica, obviously, and I just think personally there'd be a lot of room for humor, just meeting Blint's family.
It's gonna be so silly.
And I think there's a lot of like variety there of like each place is very different. And but besides something that's Blint centric, I had something while you guys were talking. I completely forgot because I was listening. So I don't fucking know, man. Quit looking at me.
If you're curious or if you got it, like after we record, just record a voice memo like really close to your face and then just send
Be
it
like,
in and we'll throw it in the episode.
Guess what? I remembered what I was going to say on the podcast.
Dude, this has nothing to do with the episode, but I am going to show you guys a video that my mom got sent from her cousin, Catherine.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
no.
the scariest fucking video I've ever
Cousin
seen.
Kathy's on the loose.
It's literally like she talked about how she got Annabelle dolls and she's gonna start collecting them now.
No.
And she was literally like taking a video of her house to show the dolls, which were nowhere to be seen. She's literally like,
My fucking God. Dude.
Pause for 5 seconds. Fucking goes over to a closet. Looks like there's a woman standing in the closet.
I don't want to see this, bro. There's a spirit in that video.
Bro, it literally looks like the fucking ghost lady from Insidious.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
the veiled lady
who has like the veil over. It literally looks like
Patrick
that
Wilson,
lady.
dude.
Yeah, fucking. I gotta show you guys that.
Why is she doing
That's
this?
fucking terrifying.
That's scary.
I'm speaking of. You whispered that into a microphone.
She's an alcoholic. That's some alcoholic behavior. Just super drunk on eBay at like 4 a.m. Like,
I bought a bunch of Annabelle dolls.
Dolls with spirits.
yeah, dolls that will kill me. My mom's cousin in Syracuse. She has a room full of dolls. I think I told you guys about this.
Yeah.
Room full of dolls in like this guest room.
Terrifying.
But it's like shelves built into the wall, like 4 shelves
Ew.
full of dolls, dude.
God.
And when we went there, I was like 12. My mom was like, "You can sleep in here." I was like, "No, the fuck, I'm not." She's like, "This is the guest room." I'm like, "There's a wall of old dolls."
There's guests in it already.
Yeah, there's guests in here.
guests in
They're not leaving.
Fucking shit.
This is their house now. You put $40 in a room.
That's
their room. No one goes there.
Um,
That shit was scary.
Speaking of scary, regrets. Give me a regret from this season.
Saying when you said Princess Aria,
Fair, very fair.
and then you stole her from me.
What were we talking about where I said that has to do with? What did you just talk about? I got distracted by the dolls.
I don't know.
You're excited to look at. Fuck.
I was excited. I think one of your regrets was going to be that everyone didn't get one of those.
Oh yes, yeah. Everyone didn't get a vision because I fucking set up the combat stupid.
Yeah.
I biggest regret was whomping myself via Quentin by stopping Harlane in the tower because she was gonna. I had written visions for everybody. Do you want me to read them?
If you have them.
If you want.
Let me hear
if you want to self-serve yourself right now.
Yeah, just
If you want to stroke yourself off some more, go ahead.
let me hear those regrets while I look for this.
I mean, that was my biggest one. Was the
this thing the.
I think I kind of regret not maybe asking Aunt Patricia more questions.
She has a lot of knowledge. You could always, if I know Glitch has a sending spell, and there is like.
Don't ask him for it though.
You could send her letters too and get letters.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
Wait, oh my god, I know something I want to add to Blint's character next season.
Yes,
he's an idiot, but he's a very good writer. Like he's a beautiful writer. He writes with like a feather pen, and he's like, "Dude, I'm Patricia. I'm seeking whatever," and like you guys like read his letters, and you're like, "You wrote this?
Eloquent."
Wait, I want him to have like a book of stories.
Oh my god!
Damn.
And he writes like versions of stuff we've done, and writes it like
fucking Vlad inspired a revolution with his voice. You're gonna inspire him with your words. That's fucking beautiful.
That's sick. Yeah,
That
that
is
is beautiful.
beautiful.
And Blint starts a publication. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's so cute." Like they're very like, "Aw." And then it's like he's like, thousands of people are following my journey.
You're famous, and we just think it's a little fucking stupid joke.
Because there's like no internet or anything, so you don't even know that people are reading, except Blint does. And he's like, "No, like tons of people are reading this." Like, "Oh, I'm sure, buddy.
Yeah, you got
That's
it.
really good.
Yeah.
You're writing." And then like people are just recognizing Blint as we're like strolling into different towns. Like, there he is.
We always talk about if we do more because we intend to do more seasons in Ismunda, but with different DMs and shit. And I know I'm gonna do one in a very long time with completely different characters. But we always talked about if like let's say best case scenario everybody lives and survives the season, seeing where they are when they're older. It'd be very funny if Blint is like an intellectual.
Blint lives in like a little cabin in the woods, and he just
wears
writes.
turtlenecks.
Yeah, and he has like a beard. Like his fur is turned gray.
That's so
and he
sick.
just writes
He's little glasses.
And smokes weed. He's just like...
He's just token.
And he writes like these beautiful novels. And he's like rich, but lives in like the middle of nowhere.
Just sitting
That'd
on his
be fucking
buries his
hilarious.
gold in the ground.
Yeah, he's like, I buried all of my money. I don't need it.
I don't fucking need
But
it.
like gives it all away. He's like, what do I need money for? And everyone's like, you'd be so rich.
You're
He's
getting
like,
royalty
but why?
checks from all these books.
Yeah, he just doesn't comprehend that he could make money off of it.
How about you, Will? Do you have any regrets or?
In life or the story?
So when I was 4.
So when I was 3,
I stepped on a Lego.
Yeah.
I denied a small loan when I was a child.
yeah.
I would have started my business.
I guess a regret would probably be that fucking. It's not even really a regret because I found out after the fact. But you telling me that he was gonna go after me first, the Pale King, for that. I kind of fucking wish I had stepped up more instead of just like watched.
I'm glad that that's a regret because we can definitely explore that going into the next season.
Mm-hmm.
But who wants to read their vision first? Do you guys want to read it or do you want me to?
Let me read it.
I would like to let you guys read it because it's fun.
This is mine. Which one?
Wait, when was
Butch's vision?
Yes.
When was this supposed to happen?
In the Hairlane fight, after fighting the hang, or was it before the hanged or after the hanged? Before fighting the bikers, when you guys went into like the Undercroft.
That
and, like,
weird lady that like rubbed her fucking bloody fingers on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Glitch is in what looks like a fancy bedroom. As Isaac and Blint fight a twisted being and is flung against the wall, hitting his head, nearly blacking out as a calming woman's voice tells him, "This won't come to pass." Did I read it wrong?
No, you got it.
That wasn't all of it.
Oh,
I was like, what are you reaching for?
I thought that was it.
No, there was more. We'll be stronger then. What he's seeing is just a possibility.
That's why.
He's like, there's 25 spoilers, so just be careful.
Oh,
Is there spoilers?
motherfucker! No, I'm so sorry.
I guess I'm just not allowed to read it.
Redo it.
Treating me
I'm
like
so
an actual
sorry.
child.
I don't want to spoil the
There's
entire
one
campaign.
sentence left.
Okay.
Don't lose hope, GC. I need you. So I'm assuming that was just
Princess Arya.
Yeah.
Before Princess Arya. I'm sorry. I was.
You're like, no,
I was
sweetie.
terrified.
No,
I
no,
didn't-
sweetie, give me the phone.
I didn't look at it before I gave it to
You're
you.
trying again. Wait. You're trying again. No.
Treating me like an actual fucking child.
It's because you're a baby, dude. No, I can't. That shit is not. That shit is cringy.
You're the infant.
You're the infant, dude.
You were in me.
Okay.
My womb. Okay.
He's too far away. I can't grab it.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, now that you know, Mikey's fucking little grubbers are gonna rip it out of your
I'm
hand.
so sorry.
His little otter hands are gonna pull it out. Of me. Otter the animal, not
Not the
other.
term.
Well, maybe. I mean, if you're into that.
I'm so sorry.
Blint's vision. Play up a large figure helping a downed Blint fight some terrifying creature you can't quite make out in the desert. And it turns out to be a tiefling with purple glowing eyes who looks back at Blint sadly as they are both overwhelmed by a massive sandstorm. Whoa.
Yeah.
So that was fucking Lareth.
You don't know who that was.
You don't know.
Oh, you brought up a purple tiefling one time in the campaign.
Twice.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the second one you brought up?
Wait, they were fighting in a sandstorm?
Who else was? I think I literally only mentioned 2 tieflings the whole time. Or no, 3. Simon's a tiefling. But there's only 3 tieflings in game.
Is there?
At least that I brought up.
Lareth. Sorry, I don't listen to you when you talk most of the time.
Fuck. Think
Yeah,
first.
I'm
Think
on
first.
autopilot.
Arc.
I don't fucking know. Tell me. Wait, Thorn?
Thorn was holding his sword with his tail. At one point.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That was Thorn, baby. Oh my
don't-
goodness.
That was Thorn.
I remember shit about that. Dude.
I'm
But-
still killing him on sight.
Yeah,
Alright.
because he
In
cut
the
fucking
sandstorm.
Oberyn in half.
I'm so sorry I grabbed the phone from you.
No, I don't care. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because I was like, is there spoilers in here? I was like, as far as I could tell, there's one sentence
and
left.
I feel bad that I didn't, like, yours was literally just like a direction for improv.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was like play up a big character.
They're like, come up with something on the spot that's really scary.
Really scary, and
I'm
has
like,
thorn
that's
in
it? You're like, yeah, sorry, I was supposed to. That was my fault.
It should have been more interesting. My bad.
What a perfect way to fucking end our downtime.
Wait, what about Isaac's vision?
He already had one. He had it in. He was the only one that
In-game,
got to
yeah.
have one.
Oh, all
yeah,
right. Yeah, the
Will just
squeaky
serve-
wheel gets
Mike-
the grease around.
Mikey, Mikey just services Will the entire time when we're.
Yeah, he's
dude.
just tickling his balls and stroking them while the rest of us are dry spitting it.
You like this?
Yeah, we're just dry stroking it over here. Will's getting the fucking 5-star suck job over there.
Mikey's like,
Me and David are fending for ourselves.
just like.
Just
I guess
fucking,
me and Nate are gonna go play with ourselves in the
yeah,
corner.
we're just giving around the back like jail hand jobs. And then Will's getting the like
You think it's
fucking
a
Robert Kraft Supreme over there.
the fuck is Robert Kraft?
The owner of the Patriots who got in trouble for getting jade off in massage parlors.
Oh my! Why is
like-
it always that?
And he's like 80 years old. That's the real crime.
Is that he's 80s?
Like, dude, just go
Just
sit
die.
down somewhere. Yeah, just die already.
Go retire, dude.
Yeah, like go read a book or something. Take a nap.
Any closing statements though?
Yeah, someone say something. That's a horrible place to
Anyone
end.
wants to, 'cause we are at the natural conclusion. I got through all my questions, and if anyone has any ones left over,
I feel like there was something. Oh, I was just. Oh, the one thing that I wanted to ask is, did anyone else have a different idea for a character?
oh yeah,
Oh, that's a good question.
he just goes,
I
nope.
think when we were coming up with my character, I was gonna name my character David Ramos.
Yeah,
And
I was
then
like, I can't like.
And then
you
I
do
was
that.
like, then his name was gonna be Raven Drain Moist. But then I think I like was like, I should use that as a different.
It was
character.
David Ramos, then it was Ravid Damos, then it
Yeah.
was Raven Drain Moist.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of a cool name.
Yeah.
But then I think I don't remember anything about it. It was gonna be completely different from Blint, like personality wise. And then I thought of Blint Beastwood, which by now you should realize is Clint Eastwood.
yeah. I'm
But
like,
now
what?
it sounds like a real name.
It sounds
Like the
way
Beast-
yeah,
Beastwood
yeah.
sounds like a very fantasy name, like
Oh,
Beast,
absolutely.
you know,
I did not.
which is so funny.
I didn't put that together for way too long.
Until now,
Well, it would be way funnier if it was right
Oh, okay.
now.
because I wouldn't
I'm just
make
like,
fun
yeah,
of anyone for not
everyone
getting
got that. No, early on when we were still recording at Mikey's house,
Yeah.
that's when I
Oh.
genuinely feel like Mikey said it to me, and then I was like,
He's
I
like,
was
hey,
oh, that's pretty good.
His
Clint
name's
Eastwood, huh?
Clint Eastwood. You're like, oh, okay.
Because I think he was telling me about you doing my name, and then he was like, but, Clint Eastwood. And in that moment, I was like, I'm not drawing attention to me not knowing that it was
Yeah,
that.
you're
Because
like,
I had
oh,
no
yeah, of
clue that you
course.
didn't know.
No, I wouldn't blame anyone for not picking that up because
It's pretty like well hidden because Beastwood does, like you said.
the more you
That
say
does,
it, the more
yeah.
it sounds like its own name.
like it sounds like straight up just like some fantasy shit.
Yeah,
some weird
Beastwood
shit.
like sounds like a very fancy like fantasy last name or some shit.
But I think you always wanted to be a farm boy, right?
Yeah, the religion thing is I think where I started
Yeah.
with Blint. Like he's kind of anti-organized religion or whatever. I don't know. And then obviously it became more than that, but that was kind of his like first hard stance, I guess, or reason to like explore or whatever.
I love it. I can't wait to actually get into it. It's gonna
Yeah.
be so much fun. How about you, Will? Any different idea for your character?
Yeah.
Will pulls out the scroll.
What do you see?
Well, yeah, I had I think Isaac was kind of like Isaac was my second character that I made for this game, and I kind of threw away the first character, but not really because I still want to play him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I made a warden, which is like kind of like a druid. Yeah, just like a druid paladin, essentially.
It's like a faction that you made in
Yeah.
in Farinosa.
Yeah, and I was going to play a warden who was just fucking wacky, but I thought it was too wacky, which in hindsight it was fucking stupid.
Well, the wardens, like, their thing is they protect nature, and they like view a detachment from their emotions. So they do a ritual that gets rid of their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was gonna play a warden, and then I think at a point you were like, it's gonna be really fucking hard to talk to everybody.
Yeah, like not being able to, or choosing not to convey emotions and shit would have been tough, but I feel like I could have done it in a funny way, like fucking bird person from Rick and Morty or some shit.
Some Drax shit where you just like don't quite get like the sarcasm and shit.
But holy fuck, imagine how chaotic it would have been if I played that dude.
Bless you. Yeah, that would have been insane.
I feel like we kind of needed Isaac's like jaded personality in the group.
Oh my god.
He's like the straight man, you know?
Yeah, literally.
We need like one person that's kind of like
he's the straight man, but he's also the hater. Like,
yeah.
And funny enough, I thought that the warden was too cut and dry, like fantasy in a way, and I wanted to do something different from what I'm used to, which Isaac is mad different from all my other characters.
True. Will usually plays the man who's running into the fire, not the one calling the department.
True. Also, I normally play dipshits. Like,
True.
every character I play is stupid in some way.
I feel like it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
You play an idiot because you could just say whatever you want, do a dumb thing.
Yeah, it's true.
You're like, oh, I was half paying attention. I'm just going to do this fucking stupid thing.
I hate playing a smart character and then feeling dumb. But I don't mind playing a dumb character and being dumb. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that's expected.
Or when a dumb character is smart in a
that
moment.
Feels better.
Because then it's funnier
yeah.
because you're like, oh, wait, he said, the thing we should have done all along.
Yeah. Unless but if the status quo is I'm supposed to be intelligent, and then I'm like, well, I'm not.
Yeah, like if you lower the bar, you can be like the funny idiot.
Yeah.
And then when you do have moments of glory, it's even funnier because you're like, oh, you're supposed to be the dumb one, but you just did this like really cool thing or whatever. So yeah, if you lower the bar, there's so much room, which is like not a great way to go into it at all. Yeah, you just lower your expectations.
But how about you? Do you have any other ideas for your character?
I definitely probably had a completely different character, but the earliest iteration of what I imagined was like, it's literally just like glitch adjacent. I was going to be, well, I guess not really. I was going to be one of the Sky Dwarves to start off. Like, I was like, I'll just be one of the dwarves. Like, that just makes the most sense to me. Like, that'll be interesting. What I should have done was I should have been one of the fucking elves from the floating city.
Oh my god.
That would have been cool as fuck.
A whole different story.
Yeah, way different. But I wanted to be like a scout. I talked to you originally about there potentially being a whole scouting team.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even like, initially the idea wasn't my character saving them. It was just like finding a way to get down.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was, it still is saving them, but it was far less drastic than like, hey, my ship crashed and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's actually like I'm a child.
Which I think everything like was a lot better that we landed on, to be honest.
No, yeah, I definitely enjoyed the idea of me being a robot that was created by the Sky Dwarves as opposed to just being one of them, because like there was something about being just one of them that wasn't clicking for me. Like, I feel like every time I come up with characters, it's like I can't recreate it because it's just like my brain is like, here's an idea, and I'm like, I don't fuck with that. And then it's like, but what if you did this stupid thing and you made it really cool? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm vibing with
yeah,
it.
that sounds like yeah, I mean, final statements before we go.
We're gonna miss you
Yeah,
when we put you down.
Yeah.
When we take you, when we old yeller you
When
out.
I go to rehab for a few months. They're checking me into rehab.
Yeah. We're putting you into hospice care.
It's like hospice, or it's like rehab, but for Riz, dude.
Yeah. Fuck you, dude. Fuck off.
I have to old
yeah.
yeller myself after that one.
When you get in the van, I'm going to be the driver,
Yeah, when you guys handcuff me after this, and
we're just gonna drive into a lake.
yeah, you're fully looking in the backseat at me the entire time you're driving, and I'm like,
like I'm going in reverse, but I'm just driving normally.
You're looking forward and you're going in reverse into a river.
Yeah. We gave you a pamphlet, and you think that you're going to a summer camp overseas called Youth in Asia.
Oh my god!
That's so funny. Youth in Asia. That's not too bad. And then I get there and they're like having just a needle. And they're like, sorry,
buddy.
Your friends wanted us to read this,
Talk about
like a prepared
podcast.
statement. I'm like, that's funny as fuck. And then I died.
Like, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's something David would do. And then they kill me. And I'm like,
it's a David AF moment.
I died for comedy. That's David AF. I know he's behind this.
Me as F.
Me as F. Honestly, this whole podcast has been me as F.
True.
Or something.
But no, genuinely, we will miss you.
I'll be back, bitch.
Oh, you will.
Oh, you will be.
I'm, exploring other pastures like my couch and my PlayStation, my TV.
Maybe an actual pasture, too.
True.
Yeah, maybe I'll just start farming.
You playing Stardew Valley?
I go on this life quest for 4 months. We weren't gone that long. I'm like, dude, I'm so different now. I have dreads, and everyone hates me.
You come back and Blint's deeply religious.
Yeah, Blint's totally switched his entire being, and he's like, yeah, I'm a man of faith now. My entire quest is gone.
He loves.
Oh my god.
He's wearing sandals.
Ew.
Oh my goodness.
2 thumbs down.
Fucking ew.
Fucking ouch.
That's gross.
2 sandals. That's gross.
Take those sandals off.
Do you want to hit him with the socials, William?
Yes. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at QuestedPod. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel for all of our video content at Quested Podcast. And don't forget to check out the merch store. Links should be in all our socials on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And we're going to have some new shit up there very soon. So look forward to it.
Genuinely, thank you for listening to all these episodes. I know it's a lot, and we kind of were finding our way, but we found it, and
it's been wonderful.
I'm very grateful to have.
I'm about to crash it into the ground.
One thing I will say, it's been a almost full year, I think 10 or 12 days. It'll be a year since our first recording.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was this month,
we gotta have an anniversary party or
we
some
stuck
shit.
with something.
Facts!
Yeah.
Come on, boys.
That's really
join hands.
Closing
time.
time.
I love you, boys.
Blackbird in the dead of night. Just gonna keep doing that.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly.
If I don't make it back,
we did it.
If I don't make it back, no, I didn't. Wait, what? That didn't make sense. If I didn't make it back, I'm an age of getting euthanized.